A man who once chose not to buy a car now flies his fourth private jet. That sounds like a myth built to sell motivation. But it happened in Nigeria, inside a country many outsiders were told to avoid. Travel warnings, inflation, corruption fears, a business climate tough enough to scare away comfortable people. Yet from that pressure came billionaires in banking, oil and gas, technology, real estate, and finance. One founder helped build $2 billion companies by age 35. One developer went from sleeping under a bridge to building more than 5,000 homes. One market leader moved from MIT to Wall Street, then back to reshape capital markets. One billionaire turned a distressed bank into an empire valued above $16 billion. The shocking part is not that they got rich. It is how differently they think about money. Lagos does not feel like a place where wealth should be easy. The traffic is heavy, the competition is brutal, and business moves at a speed that punishes hesitation. Nigeria alone has about 220 million people, which means every problem is massive. But every solution can become massive too. That is the hidden math. The first stop is Yaba, a neighborhood known for technology. About 10 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg walked these streets during a visit, and the symbolism is hard to ignore. This is where ambitious founders began proving that billion-dollar companies do not need to be born in Silicon Valley. Then, the first mogul appears. He is 35, the son of a pastor, and he helped build Andela and Flutterwave, two companies that reached billion-dollar valuations. He was not born into wealth, but he saw one idea clearly. If others could build giants elsewhere, why not here? That belief became expensive proof. He did not plan to become a billionaire builder. As a student, he watched The Social Network and saw someone close to his age build a global company at 19. That single movie changed his ambition. Later, Mark Zuckerberg himself became an investor in one of the companies he helped build. That is not coincidence. His first money lesson was not about chasing cash. It was about creating value so large that money had to follow. He explained that Africa has the world's largest share of people under 30. Young populations create young needs. Young needs become markets, and markets reward the people who solve them. His view of business was sharper than a motivational quote. In the United States, he said, making money often comes first, then you help others make money. In Nigeria, he believed it worked the other way around. If you do not help other people earn, your own wealth cannot last. He described helping people move from earning about $100 a month or having no work into careers paying $300,000 to $400,000 a year. That is leverage. His scaling secret was not hustle. It was systems. Recruit every month. Onboard talent every quarter. Review performance every year. Repeat the machine until growth depends less on one heroic founder and more on the structure beneath him. Then came the deeper rule. At dinner at MoMA in New York, a mentor told him $1 billion company is made of people who could each build $10 million businesses but choose to build one giant company together. Wealth in that model is alignment. His networking advice was even simpler. Ask, how can I help? Serve first. Give before asking. Build friendships with people who are moving somewhere, because two broke people with no momentum cannot rescue each other. His final message was one word. Build. Because the world still has unfinished problems. The next fortune begins with no roof. A real estate developer named James has spent 21 years building property. He did not inherit the industry. He entered it almost by accident, after a friend offered him agency work during youth service. That led to his first sale. Then a career that eventually crossed more than 5,000 units. His biggest year brought in $50 million. But the origin story is harsh. At one point, his family lived inside his mother's store. Then the landlord threw them out. They spent time under a bridge. That memory became more than pain. It became market insight. Shelter changes identity. He believed a quality roof does something psychological. It changes how a person sees themselves. If rain floods your living room at night, and you must wade through water just to reach the door, how can you think clearly about building anything bigger? For him, housing was not just construction. It was dignity turned into an asset. His wealth rule was brutally old-fashioned. Under-promise, over-deliver. Your name is your first asset. Before investors see your balance sheet, before buyers see your product, they hear your name.
If that name carries trust, doors open before you enter. If it carries doubt, the deal may die before you speak. That is reputation capital. His warning about banks was direct. Banks benefit when people leave money idle. He argued that serious wealth needs assets behind it, especially land and real estate, whether developed or undeveloped. Cash may feel safe, but assets can keep working when you stop. The mentor showed him that smaller companies were more visible than he was. They had done less, but people trusted them more because they appeared bigger. The lesson was uncomfortable. Perception affects opportunity. Even Coca-Cola still advertises. If one of the most recognized brands on earth keeps marketing, why should a growing company hide? His mistake was thinking sold-out projects meant marketing was unnecessary. Lack of visibility was limiting future growth. Silence was costing him money. His final lesson returned to the name. A father once told his son that he would leave no assets, only a name kept clean and white. Do not stain that name for quick profit. In business, reputation enters the room before you do, and that can make or kill wealth. The third voice comes from inside the financial system. He is 45 and leads the National Stock Exchange in Nigeria, described as probably the second largest exchange in Africa, with ambitions to become the largest. His world is not street-level hustle. It is capital, markets, listed companies, and investor confidence. But his path was not automatic. He studied locally first, then earned a scholarship to MIT, where he studied chemical engineering. From there, he reached Wall Street and worked on derivatives in New York. After years in financial markets, he returned and eventually took the top role at the exchange. His money lesson was clear. Reach the point where money works for you. That means investing, not merely earning. Labor income can build the first pile, but capital decides whether the pile grows while you sleep. That is the shift many never make. He sees opportunity in two directions. On one side, strong companies need capital. On the other, investors want returns and wealth creation. A powerful exchange connects both. Add a young, energetic, entrepreneurial population, and the market becomes more than numbers on a screen. It becomes national infrastructure. Asked where he would invest over the next 1 to 2 years, he named artificial intelligence as a clear future path. But he also pointed to sectors tied to survival. Energy sufficiency, food sufficiency, and agriculture as a major frontier. Then he moved from markets to the mind. He spoke about neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to keep changing. His message was not soft optimism. It was strategic psychology. If the brain can adapt, then identity, skill, and ambition are not fixed forever. That is dangerous information. A person with agency can decide they are not finished. Add optimism, imagination, and the willingness to think beyond present limits, and the impossible begins to shrink. For a market leader, that may be the most valuable asset of all. Belief can become capital. The final interview takes place in one of the wealthiest areas of Lagos. High walls, palm trees, pools, private compounds. This is another level of money. The man waiting there is Tony, a billionaire banker and investor. His empire is broad. He founded Heirs Holdings, a family office with investments across banking, oil and gas, power, hospitality, and real estate. Banking was where he began. But it was not where he stopped. His businesses now form a diversified machine. He came from a lower middle-class background. He did not grow up in luxury. He built the luxury later. His turning point came when he and friends took over a distressed bank in the 1990s and turned it around. People thought they were not serious. He kept moving anyway. Preparation met luck. He named the traits first: hard work, discipline, deferred gratification, and deferred consumption. He understood early that progress required sacrifice. If you consume everything now, tomorrow has nothing to multiply. His car story explains everything. As a young man, he decided not to buy a car. He saved the money,
and used it to acquire property instead. Years later, he was flying his fourth private jet. It is about sequencing. Assets first, status later. He also committed $100 million, and later more, to support entrepreneurs across Africa. Every year, his foundation gives non-refundable seed capital of $5,000 to each selected entrepreneur. His reason was not charity branding. It was economic philosophy. Prosperity must spread. He said no one should be the only tree in the forest. Wealth surrounded by hunger is unstable wealth. Impact matters because legacy outlives bank balances. His companies are valued above $16 billion. Asked whether he is a millionaire or billionaire, he answered plainly, billionaire. But his financial advice began with a small habit. Save. If someone cannot save from $1, he warned, they may not save from $1 billion. Then, savings must become investment. His final message was optimism with teeth. The present always feels difficult, but it is not the worst time. Be futuristic. Work hard. Stay focused. Stay hungry. That hunger built the empire. 4 fortunes. 4 industries. 1 pattern. The tech founder built systems and aligned people. The developer protected his name and turned shelter into wealth. The exchange leader made money work through capital and kept training his mind. The billionaire banker delayed comfort, bought assets, and scaled discipline into legacy. None of them treated money as luck alone. Luck appeared, but only after preparation. Opportunity arrived, but only where skill was waiting. Reputation opened doors, but only when promises had been kept. Wealth grew, but only when other people also benefited. That is the real blueprint. Earn actively, save deliberately, invest patiently, build assets, serve valuable people, protect your name. Keep learning while your brain can still change, because it can. The richest habit is not spending less. It is becoming the kind of person money can trust. Because money does not stay with the loudest person. It stays with the person who turns discipline into proof. In the end, wealth does not reward desire. It rewards the life that can carry it.